my last recording got cut off because of a lack of space. I feel like I'm having so much trouble with recordings today. It's just everything's going wrong with them. It's not a big deal, but lack of sleep. I'm just whatever. I am noticing this trend of certain types of behavior that make me uncomfortable. And one of my friends is hopefully going to be doing this channel with me, doing something similar to what I'm doing, just logging his days. So I hope he's okay with this. I kind of want to use his interaction and our interaction together as a good example, especially because we're both struggling with some things like traumatic brain injury and mental health illness. So we're kind of on either side of this issue. I feel like stop saying filler words, that he was too intense. I'll just cut to the chase. When we first met, right? The first day I met him, he was kind of obviously trying to hit on me, and we eventually exchanged numbers because I was thinking he knew a lot about head trauma, was also dealing with it, so I was like, dude, we need to exchange information. I want all the everything traumatic brain injury I can get. Anyways, okay. So then that night he texted me, and I was hanging out with some friends in that town, and he texted me, and then shortly later he texted me again, and then a little bit later he texted me again, and then it was kind of either that day or the next that he started texting me just about how enamored he was with me, basically. He just had these intense emotions for me, basically, this intense attraction to me, and he just thought it was so great and wonderful, and said all these eloquently said things, and that really freaks me out. Hopefully hopefully we can quickly figure this out, so that we're on the same page again, and he can kind of give his side of this and his perspective on things. But anyways, yeah, it really freaks me out. I see it as this obsessive behavior, and where I've seen that before was in people that ended up being really abusive, emotionally, verbally, physically. I saw behavior like that displayed by a guy I was dating that ended up being physically abusive, and when I broke up with him, he stalked me on the internet for a while, and then found me while I was alone at work and attacked me a couple months into the stalking. And that just, those kinds of moments are kind of traumatic. And so I know that my flag sensing is off, right? I am over vigilant about that kind of stuff. But I also feel like this behavior is really inappropriate, to be honest. It really seems valid to say that it doesn't make any sense to have all of these intense feelings and obsessive thoughts about someone that you just met. That really scares me, because I feel like that dysfunctional sort of behavior and way of thinking, it stems from that person's own problems. And that's kind of they're showing me a symptom that is a little bit more extreme. And so they're taking this huge dysfunction that they have and kind of placing it on me. They're idealizing me as everything that they needed. Like they're needing something very desperately. I don't know. And it just makes me feel so uncomfortable. It makes me feel like major boundaries are being crossed. And yeah, it scares me. And so like this guy, I really, really, really want to be friends with him. Like he seems like such a cool guy. But I can't be friends with, like I can't be in someone's life no matter how much I want to if this kind of behavior is going on. Like if there's like kind of thinking about me all the time and just fantasizing about like how wonderful I am and just building this whole thing in their head that doesn't exist. Like I can't allow that into my life. That's just like, that's your burden. And that in my head becomes very dangerous. Whenever you're externalizing your needs in that way, that's kind of where the like fear of it being kind of like an abusive symptom comes from. Because you're externalizing all this stuff onto me. That's all those feelings are. They don't have anything to do with me. They're all from within you, being projected onto me, just whatever it is. But all of it's you, and none of it's me. You don't know me yet. You haven't taken the time, and you really like, I don't know, you're kind of preoccupied with working out your own internal stuff through projecting it onto me. And I can't be anyone else's self-extension, whether in their mind or actively, and I can't do anything to feed that. So I feel like I have to set up really strong boundaries to get it to a place that I would consider an appropriate level of connection and friendship. Like that stuff builds as you get to know the other person. And yeah, it means like the more able you are to project your feelings onto me, like, and so quickly and so intensely, it's like, that indicates to me that that's like kind of a good way to grade how intense some of the dysfunction and lack of insight is. So if I'm being viewed as, I'm kind of losing my trains of thought because I'm tired, but I'm definitely posting this. Sarah, post this. I don't know how to communicate that and make that so that it's a relationship with boundaries that I need without, like, if the other person, like, you can't force anybody to think a certain way or whatever, and that's not my goal, but, like, if they were not able to relax and calm down and kind of stop obsessing over you, I would just have to cut that person out of my life, and I really don't want to do that. I want to figure out how to come to compromises with some of these people, and but it's really, to me, it's such a danger sign that it's almost like a danger sign in the way that you have to be really careful around this person, like, because that, when people give me that sign right off the bat, that's an immediate sign of, okay, walk away from this person. But and that's what's so interesting about talking about this with a guy who will, like, hopefully be doing the same thing I'm doing, because it's like people are dealing with their own issues, and I know, like, behavior that's unhealthy and stuff and the problems that we all have, that's not who we really are. So, it's like, to what extent do you have to write people off for things? Like, I would rather see, I think it would be cool to come to a compromise and see, like, his perspective and maybe his journey with that, because there's definitely something there. Like, sorry, I'm getting personal, but the behavior is just so intense and extreme, and it goes from, like, either he's idealizing you, or if he feels offended by you, it's like, he just becomes very, very negative, intensely negative. So I know he's had to have had a journey with that, because where there's smoke, there's fire. So yeah, that's just very enmeshed, codependent, abusive kind of behavior, and I don't want it. And if somebody that I really like and want to know is dealing with that, I don't know how to be able to be friends with them and not and have that component of what they're struggling with separate, like, because there needs to be a complete boundary between me and other people's unmet needs that they're trying to meet in an unhealthy way through others. I can't be that person, clearly. Like, I need a lot of help. I'm in like my healing bubble, so I can't handle any extra burdens. And yeah, I just think that kind of stuff is really inappropriate. Like, it's offensive too. Like, you don't actually know me and you're saying all this nice stuff, like, or you think that I'm so simple and not complex that you just instantly understand me. I don't know. And I feel like if people are thinking like they're making some sort of soulmate connection, like, dude, you would want to like know your soulmate, know what they need, approach them in a way that they feel safe. And it's like, you don't know any of the basics, you're just going for it. It's just all about you and what you're dealing with. It's like, I'm not even here, I'm just like a board for the projection of whatever you're doing inside. Okay, running out of time. I have been talking. Loss of sleep, man. I'm so excited to sleep. I think, yeah, I hope this works out. And I'm happy tomorrow because I've been happy today from not sleeping. Euphoria. Blah. I hope tomorrow doesn't suck.